Hey everybody, welcome back to Walking Between Worlds with myself, Leanne McLaughlin, and Dianne Adams.
Hi guys.
Um, the time goes by so fast in between shows, and we get all these great suggestions for topics. And today we are going to talk about the animal world and how our pets are actually connected to spirit world very closely, and that they're more than what we think they are. And I know both Dianne and I have some very beautiful, well, everyone has pets that are we think are like the most amazing. Um, but yeah, we're going to talk a little bit like first sort of about our own two pets and their connection to spirit world and what that looks like. And then we're going to open it up and see where it goes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do you want to talk first about
Sure. So I
your puppies?
have Diesel and her brother Gus that I babysit from time to time. So Diesel's a beautiful German Shepherd. And what's super cool is we've had German Shepherds most of our life. And the dog before Diesel was Tucker. And it was a male. It was from the same breeder, but totally different parents. So first of all, we'd be sitting around and Tucker would look into the corner and he'd start to growl and bark like he was seeing things in the corner. And living with me, I'm like, I totally get it. Someone go, oh my gosh, he's just seeing things. But I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you seeing? And he was just so intuitive. Like he was just tapped into everything. And then I get Diesel. And again, different parents. And I swear that it is Tucker that's come back in Diesel for a redo. Same birthmark on her tongue. And then sometimes when I say Tucker, she kind of looks over. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I feel like there is a huge connection between animals and spirit. From my experience, I know some of the listeners may not agree with that, but this is what we're talking about, right? We're walking between worlds and all the crazy things that can happen. So how about you? I know Guy is pretty special.
Well, first of all, that's very cool, especially about the birthmark. Like that's how they say that we really can tell. Um, I, and that when you say his name, that she looks, that's interesting. And she has a really kind of a masculine energy, right? Like she's
Very
a
much
female,
so.
but you give her the name Diesel, right?
You
And
know,
which is like a masculine, strong, and she's a working dog. So that's very, very cool, very interesting. Yeah, so Gaia, the story with me and Gaia, I'll keep it very short, but Gaia, I absolutely know is my soulmate dog. I met Gaia, she was at a rescue, and I saw a picture of her online that made me go, I have to go and meet this puppy. She was just little. And the picture, she was like 6 weeks old. And so when I went to meet her, she was a little older than that. She was about 3 months. But she went all crazy when she saw me, and it was like, Mama, I've been waiting. And I couldn't bring her home until they had to do her surgery to spay her because the rescues won't allow them for adoption. And it was so young to spay her, but they did. And so they said it would be 5 to 7 days before she would be ready to be put up for adoption. And so in my mind, I made all these stories about, oh my God, what if something falls through? What if she's not for me? Because I had another adoption that fell through literally the week before, but it's because it was supposed to be Gaia. And so my friends were like, well, why don't you pick a name for her? Why don't you? And I'm like, no, I can't, not until she comes home. And that night she came to me in her dream, or in my dream, and she told me her name. She said, Mama, my name is Gaia, and I've been waiting for you. And I was like blown away. Like I knew the word of the goddess Gaia, the mother of the earth, but I wasn't attached to that name. And I was like, whoa, this is wild. And then on day 5, after I met her, I'm in a meditation and her little face pops into my third eye screen and she says, Mama, I'm ready. And I was like, oh my God. And we called and they said, go get her. They were just about to call you. She's ready. And I went up there and I had no leash, no collar, no food, nothing prepared to bring home a puppy. And I went up there and I carried her home in the hot sun, crying my face off and just licking my tears. And it was like, oh my God. And she is definitely connected to spirit world. She does energy healing work herself. Like I've watched her go into during a healing session in our home, we would have people come and she would put her paws on the person and go into that deep sleep that dogs do, where they are running in their sleep, where it's like, boop, boop, and they're running with their little paws. Well, she was channeling energies. Like she went immediately into that sleep state and was channeling stuff. And yeah, she's not a dog. She's not a dog. She's a human.
She is.
And I know, Dianne, you've seen that and honored that in her, which is so beautiful. But yeah, so I totally believe that they see, feel, sense things that, you know, are beyond our abilities, or some of us can tap into those realms too. But yeah, really cool. So all of you watching, we can't wait to hear in the comments, because everybody's got stories about what their pet did. Cats are also very connected to spirit world as well. I'm not someone who's been a cat person. I've always been a dog person, but cats are very connected to the other side too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, that's really cool about Gaia coming in the dream. That part I didn't know about. Yeah,
Yes.
and cats. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm just like too strong for them, but one of my sons got this beautiful Bengal, and she's just like such a sweetheart, and she's really intuitive as well. And it goes back to just Egyptian times with the cats. Like they were pretty powerful animals. And you when you tap in, they're not just your pets. You can feel their spirit. You can look into their eyes, and there's a little soul in there. Like sometimes I'll make eye connection, and yeah, again, I swear it's Tucker. Now Diesel isn't a huggy girl. Well, because I'm her handler, right? German Shepherd. She has to work, but they are so intuitive and they pick up on so much energy. So I think they've come to find us. So for Tucker, because I was so busy and in my stuff, we always had two dogs at the time, and then we just got Diesel. And I think Tucker's come back to say, okay, now's the time that you and I are going to hang out and we're going to work, and I'm your handler, and we're just going to do this redo again. So there's a one movie, I don't know what it's called, maybe A Dog's Life. If anybody in the comments know, write it down because I keep forgetting what it is, where this dog keeps appearing through all these different owners and showing up.
Yeah.
But in the end, well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. It's beautiful. But if you know what the movie is, you know what the end is, and they kind of come together again. So it's a really special bond. And when they leave us, it's devastating because it's such a short period of time. You know, we want a lifetime with them, and it's so short, but no, they're with you. And if you ever have a dream, and we will talk about dreams on one of these podcasts, and they come to you, they really are coming to you to say, hi, mama, hi, dad. I'm okay. I'm here. I'm all around you. Okay, one more cool story. So we had a dog named Sam, and Sam was the funkiest, weirdest dog. Like I could just tell you all kinds of stories about that. So Tucker died first, and then Sam left as well. And I had a healing business. So I always worked out of my home, and the dogs were always under the Reiki bed. So Sam had passed, and I'm working on a client, and all of a sudden we hear, not just me, the client and I hear Sam breathing and then walking around the room, click, 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 click. And there was just, oh, I'm even getting shivers right now. He's
Me
the
too.
least one that I thought that would come see me. And just some wild stuff. Like we were camping, you know, he had passed, and I couldn't get rid of his bed. I had his bed and his toys, and this bird out of nowhere sweeps, goes underneath our trailer, and just basically lands and sits there and stares at me. Like it's just one of these surreal things. So guys, as well, if you're watching this, tell us your stories, because Leanne and I really want to hear them. And speaking of stories, I want you to explain when you and I did a ceremony for Gaia.
Oh yeah, that was so beautiful. So Gaia and I used to do, I have 1,000 stories about Gaia, but Gaia and I have done a lot of ceremony together. So like I used to host meditations and she was always right there. She loves, that's her working, right? So she loves it. And um, first one quick story. So I did a meditation. There was a group there, people who came that I didn't know. Gaia laid beside me through the beginning of the meditation. Then she went and she always laid beside whoever needed her, right? And she went beside this one girl who I didn't know. And then at the end of the meditation, she went directly to this girl's big toe and whooped her wet nose on her right big toe. And this girl afterwards came up to me and she said, my son is on the other side. He passed young. And every time I do any of this kind of work, I always ask him to give me a sign that he's here with me. She says, I know he's with me, but I always just want like a specific verification. And throughout the whole meditation, I didn't feel, or he didn't give me the verification. Well, at the end, she said, I asked him to touch me on the big toe of my right foot, and Gaia was the touch. And I was like, oh my God, she went up and did that. And I had no idea. And then I'm like, yeah, that's my girl, you know? And so Diane and I were going to go to a meditation with, it was a big group. And it was in a place where dogs couldn't come. And so Gaia couldn't come and she was so upset. Like, remember, she was so upset. We were leaving the house and she was like jumping on us. Anyways, then that was when Diane said, you know what? She knew it was important and that she was supposed to be there, but her dog body like limits where she can go. And so why don't we do a ceremony? So Diane and I took Gaia and we went to the park and we went to our favorite tree, and there's a huichol beaded necklace that I always wore in ceremony, this beautiful orange and blue peyote beaded necklace. And I wore it many, many times with her beside me. And so we brought the necklace. Diane brought flowers and your singing bowl, and we brought some crystals, and we just honored Gaia for all the healing work that she's done. I'm going to get emotional. We honored everything that she's done in this life and other lifetimes and all that she's done. And she was so proud. She was sitting up, just sticking her chest out. And I put the necklace over her neck. And remember, she sat there with it was right on her chest. And she was just the most, regal, proud shaman dog. Oh, that's just who she is. And anyone who's had the pleasure of meeting her knows and feels her energy in such a special way. So if you are here in Puerto Vallarta and you want to meet her and come and do a therapy, she doesn't do very much anymore, but once in a while she likes to work with people still. But tell us your stories. We know you've got stories too, where they sense things and they know people too, Diane, right? Like they know the energy of somebody before anything. I always said, if Gaia didn't approve a guy, I'm not dating him.
Yeah, she knows.
Yeah.
What you should do, just because that was a cool picture, is find that picture and post it.
Yeah, I will. I will again. That was a really special day for her. Aw, yeah. And I also this is just me talking about Gaia, but she's just got so many stories. So I once did a meditation and I called in Gaia's higher self to help me to do a cord cutting with someone that I was trying to break free from this old attachment. And I find myself transported and I'm looking at the back of a shaman woman who's standing beside a fire in a forest. And she turns around, she's got long black hair. She turns around and she looks right at me, and her eyes were Gaia's eyes. And in a moment, I knew that Gaia was my mother, that Gaia was a shaman, that she taught me everything that I know, and that she's far more powerful than I am. And this is one thing that resonated very deeply, was that she chose to come in this life as a dog because she would have to be with me all day, every day, because she needs me. A child eventually can get their own food and go to the bathroom and be left alone and whatever. But an animal, especially a dog, needs us for everything. And so, I only learned this about her in the last year, and she's almost 8. And wow, I actually, you can see in the background, I painted this painting, which I will have the courage to post one day. And that is Gaia under the full moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I truly believe that they also come back. Some say dogs don't have a soul. Well, anybody who has pets and is in love with their pets, when you look in their eyes, there's a soul in there. They dream. They think, they ponder, they do all kinds of stuff. So know, guys, that your animal maybe just came, as you said, to have an experience as a dog, a cat, a hamster, whatever that animal is for you. And hey, take it if it resonates. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But I know I've experienced so many things, so have you, and they are great healers. And you'll notice if you have not all of them, but you have a pain, say it's your knee or somewhere else, and they come and lay in that area. They're very, very intuitive, especially when they feel safe. So take comfort in that. And also
For
take
sure.
comfort when they have to move on to the next journey that they are with you. They are with you and they'll show you signs. And probably a lot of you have seen those signs. It's a beautiful thing.
And another thing that I just shared with a client before this who has cats that have passed over on the other side. There's been scientific studies that show that a cat purring, that vibration is like, I don't know how many hertz exactly it is. It's a low vibration, but you're receiving a healing when that cat is laying on you purring. Like you're actually receiving a sound healing, a frequency healing, which
Mm.
I'm like, that is so cool because that's like what the dolphins do is they use their sonar to use scalar wave frequencies to heal us as well. And so, yeah, and you're much kinder than me, Dianne. For people who don't believe that an animal has a soul, I don't let them off that easy. To me, that tells me everything about where you are on your journey, and you better catch up. Because if you can't see that, if you can't look in the eyes of an animal and know that they have a soul, oh, come on, we know.
I love it.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I think we covered a lot. I don't even know where we are on time, but that feels like a good place to wrap it up. I can't wait to hear everybody's comments about their
I
animals
know.
and leave a photo of who you're talking about so we can feel and connect with their energy, please. I can't wait to see.
Definitely. Me too. Big kiss and a hug,
Yeah.
guys. And we'll see you
Mwah.
next time. Thanks for coming in and check us out at YouTube. So we have our own YouTube channel. Please subscribe because we're just starting that new again. So Walking Between Worlds with Leanne and Dianne. So search that out as well. And we try and leave all the links that we can. But if not, please follow us because we really want to grow our community family.
Yeah, they
Okay.
love it. Okay, until next time, talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.